So we're just going to get started with the basic step, which is the first step that I was taught. This is a step that is pretty universal to many of the different styles of powwow dancing. So there's the grass dance, the men's traditional, ladies traditional, the men's fancy, ladies fancy, the jingle dress dance, the chicken dance, and these are styles that I see in my community in Alberta, in a Saskatchewan powwow circuit. Out east, my very first time seeing Haudenosaunee dancing, the smoke dance, I was pretty amazed, and seeing that there are so many other styles across Turtle Island, that because we're so diverse with our own nations and our own cultures. But the basic step is the one I'm going to share with you that you'll see in most of powwow country. So that step looks just like this. You're going to take a step forward with one foot, and then for now we're just going to slide it back. And then you're going to take a step forward and slide it back. So traditionally, you'll see a lot of the women do this step, keeping a very graceful bounce in time with the drum. So I'm just going to play the drum song, and then we're going to practice that step, and then we're going to level up as we go on. If you have any questions, feel free to drop them in the comment section. All right, here we go. All right, we're just gonna actually do this little bounce right here with our knees bouncing on the spot. So from the side, I look like this, bouncing stationary on the spot. What you're gonna do now, as the drum goes, is 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Sliding your foot forward and sliding it back. And we're just gonna speed that up. Ready? So we're just gonna be stationary for now, and you're gonna add this bounce. So you have this bounce going as your feet are taking that step, keeping your feet very close to the ground and sliding it back. This is for the ladies' traditional style, but is still relevant to what we're going to do next. So let's just practice that. Good, let's practice that bounce from our knees. My feet are flat on the ground. What we're gonna do now is we're gonna practice traveling, all right? Wherever you are, in your kitchen, your backyard, and you're just taking a little step. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. And I'm traveling as I do that basic step and keep this bounce. Right on, keep it going, keep it going. Let's just stop again and go stationary. And let's travel again, go 1, 2, basic step. So where I come from, we go clockwise in the giant arbor, the big circle. Awesome. I'm just going to pause for a second. What we're going to do now is we're going to level it up a little bit. We're going to take our foot now off the ground, taking a step forward, and then lifting our foot and stepping back. 1, 2, 1, 2, as opposed to the traditional keeping your feet close to the earth and then sliding it back. This is, again, a step that we see a lot of the ladies traditional. This is what they do to this day. Men's traditional, you'll see lifting their feet. And Again, right now I'm saying it very gendered, ladies and men, but just because that's how I've been brought up in this way. You'll see at the powwows, it's been very gendered. However, you know, if you identify two spirits, you can choose, you know, what you want to do. So I just wanted to let you know that you are free to choose what you want to do. But I'm just using gender specific to describe, since this is how I've been brought up in the circle and witnessing. So you're going to, again, lift your foot. 1, 2, 1, 2. We're going to practice doing that version. All right, here we go. So 1, 2, 1, 2. We're going to keep in time. And you still have a little bit of a bounce going, as opposed to this up and down. 1, 2, 1, 2. Every time that drum hits the ground, your foot should be hitting the ground, just like the drum. Now, we're gonna speed up the lesson a little bit and start traveling and moving in this direction, clockwise. 1, 2, 1, 2, good job. Good job. Let's go forward, bring it forward. Hey, let me see your beautiful faces. And you're gonna bring it back. Let's try traveling backwards with that basic step. And then forward. Good. So this time we're gonna level it up again. So you'll see that traditional step. You can do this all day if you want. What we're gonna do now is we're going to add a bounce on our toes. So the balls of your feet, you'll see a lot of grass dancers, men's fancy, traditional, men's traditional, up on the balls of your feet. As for jingle dress or fancy shawl, we get up on our tippy toes a little more, kind of like how ballet dancers do. So we're gonna add this bounce and then do the basic step at the same time. So it's kind of like rubbing your belly and patting your head. You're doing both of those at once. So keeping this basic step, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. You're now gonna add this bounce that's on the balls of your feet. 1, 2. If you take out the step, then you're just left with this bounce here. It looks like you're jumping up and down. So I'm pushing off of my toes, and you can't even hear me stomping around the floor. That's how light I'm trying to be when I'm on my toes. And it's not a giant big hop unless you're doing the crow hop. It's just a little bounce, 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 bounce. Because again, you're gonna add that basic step on top. 1, 2, 1, 2. So let's practice that. Let me see the chat box. All right. If she holds a bit further from her mouth. Oops, sorry. All right, here we go. Okay, so let's go basic step. We're gonna add that bounce, ready? 1, 2, 1, 2. So if you're trying to go for a jingle, fancy shawl, you wanna keep your posture nice and straight. I'm going to mimic how I see the men doing their styles. So again, I'm not really high up on my toes, but I still have that light bounce on the balls of my feet. All right, now let's try traveling with it. 1, 2. Back to basic step. This is just so it can get into our bodies, muscle memory. One, two. Let's go back to that bounce. Ready? Bouncing on your balls of your feet. And add that basic step. So again, I'm just doing the 1, 2, 1, 2. And then bounce, bounce on your toes. Keep going. I'm gonna just go to gallery view, check you all out. Hey, nice. Right on. What I was saying was we're just going to get to footwork. So footwork is everything that you put on top of the basic step. And the way you're going to do your footwork is based on the style that you're doing. So again, there are many different styles of powwow dancing. And I'm going to teach you from a fancy shawl perspective of footwork that I do when I do fancy shawl. However, you can transfer these same steps into the other styles. If you're doing grass, if you're doing traditional, it's all based on your posture and how you're doing the step. But the first thing we're gonna do is called shuffles. So shuffles, again, I'm just teaching you based on my perspective. I gave some of these steps names in order to be able to teach them to kids and youth and people that come to powwow practice. So some people might call it the same. You might learn different names for the same step. It's not like written in stone, you know what I mean? So just letting you know. Shuffles goes like this. We're just gonna shuffle our feet back and forth. As you do your bounce, you're just gonna slide your feet forward and back. So I'm doing my bounce, 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 bounce. And I'm just sliding my feet as I bounce up, 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 slide, 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 slide. And I'm right on my toes. So when we do our basic step, you would put your shuffles on top. 1, 2, switch, 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 switch. Basic step, switch, switch, switch. So let me see here in the chat box, what's happening, what's happening? Hey, Quick and Sheba, hey. So the shuffles, again, we're gonna practice to some music. We're gonna go slow and then we're gonna speed it up. All right, so we'll just go like this, basic step. So we're gonna start bouncing with our basic step. And for now, I just want you to go shuffle, 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 shuffle. Switch, 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 switch. So your shuffles stay in time with that drum. So for now, let's go like this. Let's make a little pattern. One thing I love to do when I'm dancing is create patterns with the footwork. So we're gonna do 2 basic steps. We're gonna go 1, 2, and then we're gonna go shuffle, shuffle, shuffle. The foot that's in the back, I'm restarting. 1, 2, shuffle, shuffle, shuffle. 1, 2, switch, switch, switch. 1, 2, switch, switch, switch. So again, you're keeping that time with the drum. If we do it fast, it's gonna go 1, 2, switch, switch, switch. 1, 2, switch, switch, switch. The bounce, as you jump up and push off your toes, that's what's gonna help you switch your feet fast. Because the drum is going at a fast pace, so you don't really have time to like do it in slow motion. Switch, 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 switch. All right, let's try that to some music. Feel free to travel. And check it out. Hey. Good job. You want to keep that bounce consistent. So every time I'm doing my footwork, I'm not stopping to go into the next thing. You're consistently keeping that bounce going the entire song until the drum stops. Next piece of footwork. I just call this one the 4 directions because we're just going to take our feet and tap our toe to the front. Then we're gonna go to the side and then to the back, and then we're bringing our feet together. So this pattern, I'm going forward, side, back, together, forward, side, back, together. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then adding that bounce on top. So initially, you are doing footwork on one side and keeping that bounce on the other foot. Hop, 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 hop. So one foot is going half time, the other is bouncing. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, together. If you want, you can also go from the back, back, side, front, back, side, front. I'm gonna play a song. Ready? Here we go. So 5, 6, 7, 8. Go. 1. 1. Let me check it out. Hey. I see SJ Okamau just being deadly and already doing double time. Right on. So that'd be, we're going 1, 2, 3, 4. And then I see my friend SJ in there being deadly and then doing it double time. 1, 2, 3, 4. You can do that too, right on. All right, woo! We're gonna go on to the next little step. I'm just gonna give you a few steps and maybe we can make a little routine out of that. So heel toe is exactly how it sounds. Dancing on your heel and toe. Whoops. So let's see here. Boom, 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 boom. Okay, let's just do this pattern first. So we're gonna come forward with our heel to the side with our toe so that your heel is up, to the front with your heel, and then back together. So we're just gonna do the half time on one side. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. You're going to add that bounce. It's going to play the drum. So I'm just going 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's see that heel toe. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. The next thing you can do, you can speed up and go double time. And 1, heel toe. So I'm switching from my heel to my toe while keeping that bounce. Heel, toe. And that pattern, I was just doubling up on each side. I'm going heel, toe, and then I'm switching to my other side to start again. Heel, toe, switch, toe, heel, toe, switch, toe, heel, toe. Ha. And 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4. Da, 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 da. Boom, boom, ha, ha. Again, if you're doing like grass, putting the grass down, you'll see a lot of grass dancers get low, patting down the grass. As a fancy shawl dancer, I'm up on my toes. Jingle dress, you'll see hands to the side, keeping their feet closer to the ground with that same step, heel toe. You can play with the heel toe any way you choose, as long as you keep that bounce. If you want to cross in the front, so you're going heel, cross, heel, together, heel, cross, heel, together. Let's try that. Ready? 5, 6, 7, 8. Heel, cross, heel, together. Heel, cross, heel, together. And 1, and 2, and 3, and 4. Good job. We're gonna add the bounce and hop. 2. This bounce with your feet together is kind of the home base. You can do anything from that space. You can also combo it, you know, and 1, out, in, out, in, out. So those are heel toe. Okay. Last thing, let's see what time we have here. It's 2:08. Last thing here. So we got the basic step, we got some shuffles, the heel toe, 4 directions. I'm going to show you one more. Basic footwork pattern is the crisscross. So it's exactly how it sounds. You're just crisscrossing your feet. You can I'm jumping out as I come up with my bounce. In, out, in. So you don't have to make your legs real wide, especially if you're doing fancy shawl, fancy dance. You don't have time because the drum can get extremely, extremely fast. It's going out, in, One thing that helps is when I crisscross, pointing my toes out is helpful, I find. And we're gonna try that to some music. I'm gonna play a crow hop for you. It's a little slower. Out, in, ready? We're gonna go 5, 6, 7, out, in, out, in. When you do the crisscross, you can also turn your body. Just add some. We're gonna speed it up a little bit. Back to our basic step. We're gonna go to our crisscross, ready? 5, 6, 7, 8, out, in, out, in, out, in, out, in. Back to basic step. Ready? 5, 6, 7, 8, out, in. And keep that bounce going. You want to turn with it, feel free. Hey, back to basic step. You can also go in, out, in, out, in, out, in, out. You can double it up, double, double. You can go single, single, 2 times on the same side. It's all up to you how you want to make your patterns. These are some of the patterns that I use when I'm freestyling. Powwow dance is a freestyle dance, and you're just, you know, letting the drum, you know, move you, take over. And these are some things you can think about while you're dancing. All right, now let's see what time it is. Let's try something here. We're gonna go basic step. Let me see, I'm gonna play this song. Okay, as soon as you hear this song start, I want you to do, you're gonna bounce. Just stationary. All right, we're gonna bounce stationary, which means you're not doing the hop bounce, you're just doing the bounce from the knees. So we're just gonna bounce. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, then basic step. Basic step, basic step, basic step. All right? Then we're gonna add the bounce on top. Basic step. Again. Then 5, 6, 7, stop. Let's see what happens. We'll try it to Stadium Powwow, Tribe Called Red. Oh, bounce. 6, basic step. Add the bounce, go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and we're gonna put the 4 directions pattern right after we start the basic step with that bounce, all right? So again, right when the music drops, I'm gonna run back here and you're already gonna start. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, basic step, go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, add the bounce on top, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 4 directions, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and you're just gonna stop on the 1. gonna go and boom, you're just gonna freeze and do a nice stop. Whenever the drum stops at the powwows, especially, you know, we have a lot of competitions nowadays. It's just how it is. Some of the dancers do the deadliest stops. You'll see some men's traditional, just like boom, fancy, boom. It's up to you. So I would like you to just pick a stop, you know, pick a pose. I do my arms in a certain way because I'm imagining, you know, I have my shawl. Or you could just boom, stop, nice and clean. Let's try it with music. Basic step. Add the bounce. Four directions. Good job. If you would like to now get deadly with your four directions, since we're here, you can also add a turn, turning to the front and then turning the other way. So it looks like this, going 1, 2, 3 together, 5, 6, 7 together. And I still am keeping that pattern with those four directions. And then just adding that turn makes it a little, all right, let's try that. And then you're just gonna stop on the one. Let me see y'all. Ready? All together, just that four directions with that turn. Ready? 5, 6, 7, 8. Step 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Hey. Right on. From there, because you know what, we're running out of time. Oh, thank you, KP. This is supposed to go till 12:15. So you know what? I'm just gonna say to you, once we stop, you're gonna hear the drum come back on. And from there, I want you to pick whether you wanna, I would like you to do like a whole 8 count of the basic step. And from there, you can choose your crisscross, those shuffles, heel toe, and then you can always come back to that basic step. You don't have to trail off and be crazy trying to smush all the steps together at once, you know? Keep it simple for now. And if you want to just basic step that whole way so you can get it in your body, you can do that too. So right when the drum starts again, freestyle using those steps, because that's as much time as we have. All right, I'm about to start the music again. Is there any questions? Woo. Hola, grab a drink of water real quick before I start the music. Okay, here we go. Basic step. 5, 6, at the bounce, ready? Four directions. Ready? Here we go. 5, 6, 7, 8. Good job, everybody. So basically that was like a team dance. There's we just did a tiny little bit of choreography there. And if you're at a powwow, they'll have team dance competitions where dancers in whatever style they do will team up together and create a whole choreography. And it's pretty amazing. You can look it up on YouTube. Powwow team dance competition. Sometimes they get so deadly that they make matching regalia and go all out like on their routines. It's pretty incredible. So that was our little team dance, mini flash mob team dance routine. I just want to say something real quick before we end. I have a few words. I have been asked to teach powwow dancing to Indigenous youth and kids for many years after practicing at the Friendship Center myself and continuously going and then attending powwows where I'm from. I started to get asked like to teach, non-Indigenous children and schools that were non-Indigenous. And, I had to ask myself, is that okay? Is that okay? I don't know, is that okay? But going to schools where there are children and teaching them about how beautiful our culture is really helped lead way into having bigger discussions about colonialism and the history of, what is still taking place, current issues. And I thought that was really cool. And it's just one way that helps people understand who we are. And I just wanted to say that you learning this dance, if you're non-Indigenous, you can now go to a powwow. You can participate during intertribals. So intertribal is, you'll hear the MC. There are many protocols that go on at powwows and ceremonies that take place as well. And a lot of times it's about honoring, and you'll hear the MC, delegate the times when these things happen, when it's time to honor the flags, when it's time to honor the veterans, the people who fought in wars, our elders, our youth, our royalties, and even memorials sometimes. And so you'll hear the MC will lead everything. And I just want to say respectfully, if you're non-Indigenous, you can participate. And it's the time when you hear the MC say, intertribal time, everybody dance, even if you're a visitor. And it's very encouraged. We love that when visitors come to the powwow. And if you're non-Indigenous, even sometimes I've seen the MC call out the ones who are visitors from other countries, like, oh, we have someone here from Argentina, hey, stand up. And then the drummers will all, boom, 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 bang on the drums for you, and you give a little wave. And they're honoring, the visitors and the guests. But on the other hand, my opinion, I'm not the go-to gatekeeper of powwow dancing to just give you this and now be like, go ahead, go do this now and make your own regalia and get her done. I don't encourage that because, there are still Indigenous children and people on this land who don't have access. And the culture ban that was lifted was not too long ago. It was just in the 60s. And so with that, I would like to share a message from my good friend, Brianna Olsen, who is in Toronto, Ontario, doing really good work with our Indigenous people. And I wanted to share this message with you all in case you would like to help. All right. Indigenous people have been so negatively impacted by colonization that ceremonies were only legalized in this country in the mid-1960s. The fallout is that our communities struggle with ongoing racism, poverty, displacement, and health struggles. Even today, many Indigenous people do not have access to ceremony, practices that existed for tens of thousands of years before contact. The Indigenous Street Outreach provides critical health support, basic needs, supportive counseling, arts, traditional food, and ceremony to the most vulnerable Indigenous folks in the city, many of whom reside in encampments. This is an opportunity for you not only to experience our culture, but also to actively support its revitalization and practice allyship. Consider donating today. So I just wanted to share this information. It's a fundraiser link. Sarah's going to post it in the chat box. It's an Indigenous youth outreach GoFundMe if you would like to consider donating. And it's right in Toronto, supporting the most vulnerable people who are mostly Indigenous people living in encampments, who are houseless, but living on the land, their territory. So I just wanted to mention that. Also, if you're into that show, Schitt's Creek, Dan Levy, that star from that show, is actually encouraging everybody to take Indigenous Canada online course through the U of A, which is a free course. And I'm just going to drop that in the link box here in the chat box. I just wanted to share that information with you all in case everyone's interested. It's offered by the U of A. And one more thing, there is a great book called 21 Things You May Not Know About the Indian Act, which touches on colonialism and how we're governed by this Indian Act to this day, how Indigenous people are governed by this, and does mention the culture ban that I talked about in there. So just some resources for you, for everybody, even myself. I just started getting into that book and learning about the Indian Act myself, even though I have a treaty card and I've been governed by this since birth. So I'm learning about it as well. So that Dan Levy guy is hosting a talk with the instructors every Sunday after the course every week. So you can get on that chat with him, which is so cool if you're into that Schitt's Creek show. So again, I just want to say thank you so much. And is that GoFundMe? Oh yeah, right there. Cool. I'm just gonna pass it back to our host, and thank you so much for everyone participating and joining today. And Nimki and Duke, it was a beautiful pleasure meeting you and doing this with you. And thank you, Myzium, for inviting me. Hi.